Okay, now it is part 2 of lesson 6. We want to make sure we always fill in your heading. It's a good practice to get into so you don't accidentally forget your name and then have to redo all your work. So please always put on your heading, and your heading is your name, your number, my number's pi, date. Please put the date you are completing these notes. And subject. Our subject is math. So every one of these lines should be filled in every single time. Okay, now we're going to practice our rounding. So here's our number, and in this column we're going to round to the nearest 10. In this column we're going to round to the nearest 100. So first we're going to make our number line. So the nearest 10, we have 6 there. So the nearest 10 is 760. And then the next 10 up is 770. So we start with the 10 that's there. We make our round number. Round means it ends in a 0. And then we go up 10 more. Again, ends in a round number. Our benchmark is halfway. Well, half of 10 is 5. So we have 765. Now we want to figure out where 764 would be. Well, it's right before 765. So which is it closer to? Which round number is it closer to? It is closer to this one. It's closer to this one. So our nearest 10, or if we round to the nearest 10, we get 760. Now we're going to round to the nearest 100. So 700 is what we're looking at. So we start with 700. Our next 100 is 800. Our halfway point, halfway between 700 and 800, well, half of 100 is 50, so it'd be 750, be our benchmark number. Well, 764 wouldn't be on this side. It's not less than 750. It's greater than 750, so it'd be somewhere over here. Well, which round number is it closer to? It is closer to 800. So our nearest 100, if we round to the nearest 100, it's closer to 800 than 700. Okay, so our next one we're going to do, round to the nearest 10 first. So let's get our number line. So we have 1,240, and then the next 10 would be 1,250. Or halfway, half of 10 is 5, so it's 1,245 is the halfway mark. Now we need to figure out which side this number would be on. Is this 49 between 40 and 45, or 45 and 50? Well, the 49 would be pretty close, actually, right here. It's very, very close. It's just 1 away. It's 9 away from this one, and it's only 1 away from this one. So this is our nearest 10. So if we round to the nearest 10, we get 1,250. Okay, now in this column we're rounding to the nearest 100, so that's 2. So here we have 1,200. Then the next 100 would be 1,300. Halfway, our midpoint, our benchmark number here, well, half of 100 is 50, so we get 1,250. So we need to figure out where this 249 goes, in between 200 and 250, or 250 and 300. Well, it actually is 1 away from this midpoint. It's very close to being in the exact middle, but it's still on this side, so it's closer. It's only 49 away from this one. It's 51 away from this one. So the nearest hundreds place would be 1,200. That's our nearest round number in the hundreds place. Okay, so now we're going to look at 4,950 at the nearest tens. So we have 4,950, 4,960. Halfway in between 50 and 60, well, half of 10 is 5, so 4,955. Where would this number go on the number line? Actually, it'd go right here. It's right there on that endpoint, or that boundary point. So that means it definitely is closest to 4,950. That is the closest round number in the tens place. But let's look at the hundreds place. So the hundreds place, we have a 9. So we have 4,900, then 4,1000, but we can't have 1000, so we go up the next 1,000 to 5,000. So it's like having 49 hundreds and then 50 hundreds. Okay, our benchmark, our halfway point. Well, halfway between these two numbers, half of 100 is 50, so we get 4,950. And now we find where this number goes on the number line. Well, I already see it on the number line. It is the midpoint, exactly halfway. And this is the one that you just have to remember. When it's exactly in the middle, it's not closer to either one. It's exactly the same distance. It's what's called equidistance away. When it's exactly the same distance away, we just go up. When it's on the benchmark number, we go up. So we say it's 5,000. Even though it's 50 away from this one and 50 away from this one, we just go up when it's in the exact middle. Okay, our last two. Put down our number line. We look at the tens place first. So we have 15,920. And then the next round number with the tens place would be 15,930. And our halfway point, our midpoint, that benchmark number, well, half of 10 is 5. So 15,925. Where does this number fall? Does it go between the 20 and the 25, or the 25 and the 30? Well, it's just bigger than our midpoint by 1. It's just 1 greater. So it's going to be on this side, and that means it's closer to 15,930. Okay, now we're going to look at that hundreds place. So we have 15,900, then 15,1000, but we can't have a 10 in 2 digits in a 1-digit spot. So we go up to the next 1,000. So it's saying we have 159 hundreds, and then we have 160 hundreds. Just one more hundred there. Okay, let's find our benchmark. Halfway between these two numbers, well, half of 100 is 50, so I get 15,950. Now is 926 between 900 and 950, or 950 and the next 1,000? Well, 926 would be in between these two. So 15,926. And we don't know the exact spot, but it's going to be somewhere in the middle there. That means it is closer to 15,900. Okay, and that is it for our 3-column notes. Now it's time for you to practice. Thank you for joining me.